Hey, garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden, and I am coming to you from Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs, and today we're starting some more seeds, but I am using a new soil blocking mix that I got from Bri from Blossom and Branch Farms. I will link her video down below about it. I just want to try something new, and this one specifically has wool pellets in it that is a natural organic fertilizer, and she doesn't even fertilize these soil blocks that she uses with this. So one less step, I would be all about it if it works. So let me tell you first what is involved in the soil blocking recipe, and then we'll get to work. Here is the actual recipe. 1 part hot water to 1 part sheep wool pellets, which I'll put a picture of on the screen. I got mine from Amazon. And then 4 parts Coco Loco Box Farm and a dash of cinnamon. So that all looks like this, which I did my first batch of yesterday. But let me show you the Coco Loco bag. This right here is the Fox Farms Bush Doctor Coco Loco Coconut Core Potting Mix. And that's what she calls for in this. It's a really, if you look at it, it almost feels like sandy. It really drains well, you can tell. And if you attempt to use this method, be prepared because it does smell like a damp wool sweater, but it's really not too bad. That's okay. I will show you the tray that I did yesterday, and I have to tell you, the reason I didn't film was because my son was with me, and I was hurrying, and I just didn't want to take the time to, and I wanted to get some experience with it. But the first tray seems a little crumbly to me, and I'm wondering if I need more water, because after all of this, you actually do add another part of water. So I'm still figuring it all out, trying it all out, but let me show you the tray from yesterday downstairs. Here she is on the heating mat under the grow lights. Let's grab her, take a look inside. So here we are. It still has the plastic wrap on it. I'll take it off in a second, but just so you know, I have a little honeywort or Leia hollyhock, which I think is gonna get pretty big for these small soil blocks, but I'll mess with it when they germinate. Double click snow puff cosmos, cupcakes blush cosmos, and apricota cosmos. So if we take this off, you can see it looks a little dry, and actually I'm gonna water these because it looks so dry. Some of the sheep fiber that's in there, it actually looks like wool because it is wool. So you can definitely tell that there's wool in there, but I don't know. I don't know yet how these are gonna hold up. Let me water them and see this first round. I'm hoping they don't crumble to pieces. That's my main worry. And actually, this tray isn't really allowing me to get around the sides all the way to the back so that the back gets watered too. I guess I should have put more space in the back. Axel, come on. Because you can see the water can really saturate the front here, but there's not enough room on either side to get to the back, which is a problem. There's not really a space, but I am gonna try and put some water back here. Don't try this at home. This is an experiment. Okay, that actually is working okay. You can see there's some water in the back now. And it's not crumbling to pieces. It's soaking the water up. So that's good. That's going better than I thought. Okay, so this has drained off pretty well, and it's holding its shape. So that went a lot better than I initially thought it would just by messing with the texture of it yesterday. So I'm happy so far. Let's go make some new ones. Axel, stop licking the plastic. So if you're not a soil person, you might be bored at this point in this video, but here's why it's important and why you might want to become a little bit more of one, like I have just recently gotten more into it, because it's so important. for the health of your seedlings. And I'll actually link another video she posted about using different soils. I think it was 6 different soils to start her seedlings in, and this was just in a regular cell tray. And there's a huge difference between the health of the seedlings in some versus the other. So that kind of turned me on to, okay, how can I use the best soil that I possibly can to have healthy seedlings so that I don't waste time? Because seed starting takes a lot of time and energy, and the last thing I want is to have weak, limpy, unhealthy seedlings that aren't even going to make it into the garden or are less likely to thrive, because what a waste of time. Oh, travesty. So that's why I'm looking more into experimenting, and if I can take out a step of fertilizing with these sheep wool pellets, saving more time, hallelujah. So I'll keep you updated as we go, but that's kind of the thinking behind why I'm even considering a new recipe and trying different things. You could also do this for a cell tray. You don't have to use it just in a soil block. You would just not add as much water, because in a cell tray you don't need as much water as you do when you're soil blocking. So if you're not a soil blocker, it can still apply to you for sure. Okay, let's start some more seeds using some new soil blocks. Okay, first I've got some of my sweet pea soil blocks that I started I don't know, probably a month or so ago now, and I'm going to add to this because there's some empty spots on these trays, and that's precious real estate. So I'm going to do a new variety of sweet peas. I'll show you here in a second. Right here, Beaujolais. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I grew these last year and they were very, very pretty. A deep maroon red color with a littleish, almost slight purplish tint on it in the bottom. Really pretty. So I'm going to add my 2-inch soil blocker on here and take up some of this real estate with some more sweet peas. P.S. These are growing really well, and they've only been out in the greenhouse. I haven't had them inside at all, and their coloring is what I know is the difference between the ones that I started inside and have now taken them out. Those are much longer, but their coloring is a little less vibrant green, deep dark green, and this is healthier looking. So take that for what you will, but I might start all my sweet peas outside next year. Kudos to Bri from Blossom and Branch Farm, because I also got this idea from her. So if you're not following her, I do recommend it because she has a lot of interesting, useful information. Okay, let's do this. Here you can see the wool pretty well if you look closely. And I think I might not have had it in warm water to dissolve long enough because it's still pretty thick and woolly in there. Initial first impression with the big soil blocker is the same one I had yesterday. It just looks a little loose to me, less solid as when I use the Vermont Compost Company Fort V potting mix, but that might be part of why things grow really well in it. So we'll see as we go how they hold up. Now I've just made 12 of these blocks, these new blocks, and that's all I'm going to plant for the sweet peas, but I'm just going to take one and put it in the middle of each soil block. These had really good germination with just one in each. So that's what I'm gonna do with these as well. And then I'll come back in with a little bit of the soil and just pack it in that little indent from the soil blocker. Yeah, I wish I could let you feel what the texture of this is, because you can tell it's really well draining because it's very light. A little sandy feeling is the best way that I can describe it, but it's much different, much less dense than the Fort V one. And here's what we're looking like at the end of this, all squared away. And here's this side. This side you can tell they're a little less structurally sound, if you will, but we'll see how they hold up. And to be clear, I am not disowning the Vermont Compost Company Fort V potting mix. I still like that. I'm just out. And I ordered this to try it, and I have this on hand. So I want to order more of that because I think it has worked pretty well for me. And I must be honest and say another side note is you're supposed to go ahead and strain this potting mix. And I don't have a strainer, so I didn't do that to get all the big clumps out. Same with the Vermont Compost Company. I think technically straining it is a little better than leaving some of the bigger chunks in it, but I don't do that. I don't have a strainer and I just want to save time and skip that step. So I may be breaking the rules a little bit there. But so far it's worked okay for me. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But I wanted to tell you, if you want to technically do this the quote unquote best way, strain that soil. Then let's do some small blocks in this little tray, and I am going to do, if you can read it, California poppies. I put painter's tape with a garden marker and label so I know which soil block is which, and also the date that I'm sowing. So we have California poppy. The first one is Thai silk apricot chiffon. Did I say that right? Yes, Thai silk apricot chiffon. And California poppy Thai silk pink champagne. Both from Floret, both new for me. I've never grown California poppies before, so we'll see how they do. I do know they typically like well-draining soil, and this certainly seems like a good soil recipe for that. If you sifted it, things like this would not be in there. I find that it's a bit more difficult to pack, but I think that's just because like this is a whole wool piece right there. That's user error on my part because these should have, yeah, if you look at this, I mean, this is a whole piece of wool. This should have broken down more. I don't think I gave it long enough in the hot water to dissolve. And she shows all of that on that video that I'm linking. So this is not a how-to video. This is me trying it out and learning from the first time of doing this. Okay, that one looks pretty solid there. Little crumbly, but not bad. Looks better than yesterday, to be honest with you. And I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm keeping a vein on this side and this side, so when I water it, both sides will get water. I might be able to fit one more, but I'm just gonna leave it. Am I gonna leave it? Yeah, just because of the watering. California poppy seeds. I'm going to use a chopstick and pick up one and try to put just 1 to 2 in each cell. I'm just gonna lightly press them down in to the soil. And on the back of these seed packets, it says to sow 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date. My last frost date here is May 2nd, so I'm 5 weeks out from my last frost date, so this is the perfect time to plant them. Now I'll add some vermiculite on top. And voila, all done. Now I'm just going to put plastic wrap on top and put it on the heat mat, my germination station downstairs. Then I've got one more big tray that I want to do, and I'm going to do a mixture of big soil blocks and small soil blocks. The big ones are going to be for some bigger seedlings, like a first for me, cup and saucer vine. And these seeds are huge. Oh no, water. They're huge. So this will do better in a big soil block. Lupin, I did start some lupin in small soil blocks, and they're doing okay, so I might just keep those in small. Honeywort, I think I'll try these in big. And then the rest I think I'm gonna go ahead and do small, and that is Bronze Beauty Calendula from Floret, Corn Cockle, Ocean Pearls. Corn Cockle's a new one for me too. And then Straw Flower for the rest. I'm excited about these varieties. I think you can start these in bigger soil blocks too, so I might do a couple in bigger and a couple in smaller and see how they fare. From Johnny's, we have Apricot Peach Mix, King Size Raspberry Rose, and from Floret, Apricot Mix. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough dirt to get all these in, but that's the plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and make them and sow them, and I'll meet you back here at the end. Here we go. I got them all made. I just did one row actually of the big ones because I'd rather get more seedlings in than less seedlings, and I didn't have enough dirt. So I'll figure out something to do with the cup and saucer vine. I might just put them in the little ones and then pot them up later. It is what it is. That's okay. Let's get these seeds sown. In case I didn't tell you, I did soak the lupin and the cup and saucer vine and the sweet peas overnight because it says on their packets better to be soaked overnight in water before you sow them. FYI. I know what I'm going to do with my extra cup and saucer vine, lupine, and sweet pea seeds. A little bit out there, but I think it'll work. I'm going to broadcast sow them in here with the Coco Loco mix. I might even blend a little bit of what I have left over in here and sow them in there. Oh, my pizza's ready. And sow them in here, put this on as a humidity dome, and then separate them when they get bigger. And that way I'm not wasting seeds and I'm not taking time to put them in a cell tray. I just want to try it and see how it works. So I just put Coco Loco pretty much almost to the top, and then I put some of the wet soil blocking wool pellets and Coco Loco on top, and now I'll sow those extra big seeds. These are slimy, these cup and saucer vines that have been soaking. Woo-wee! Sitting on top of the soil, now I'm just gonna poke them down in there and cover them back up. Put this on, and this will go in the heat mat under the grow light. Now back to the original scheduled programming. Woo! Okay, I am officially done sowing everything, and I actually was able to fit 3 other varieties in that are all new to me. We have Apple of Peru that's from Floret, a greenery. Well, actually, I think it has little flowers on it. Stems are loaded with glowing green lanterns that appear after their periwinkle blossoms drop, and the plant resembles a giant tomatillo with blue flowers. Interesting. Then I also did a Nigella Death Blue from Johnny's, which I think is left over from last year or the year before. And Clarkia, Elegant Salmon Clarkia. Again, all 3 of those are new for me, so we'll see how they do. Now I just need to put my plastic wrap on this and get them on the heat mat at the germination station downstairs. Nope, 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 nope. Cut. I didn't put vermiculite on them. Hold that thought. Let's put vermiculite on. Everything's gonna have a pretty healthy layer of vermiculite except for my straw flower, which needs light to germinate. So I'll just sprinkle a light layer over those soil blocks. There we go. And these 3 right here, here, and here have a little less because those are the straw flower. Now let's put that plastic wrap back on it. While I'm doing this, let's chat, shall we? So who's moving things out into the garden yet? Anyone? Anyone? Especially if you're doing the cool flowers method, you can start moving things out about 6 weeks until the last frost date. Of course, ranunculus and anemones. Oh, I can't wait to get mine out. I'm ready. Other cool flowers could go out too. So I hope somebody's getting some stuff out there. Drop a comment below and let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right down here with the other one, and we're done with that. Then I'll come in and water every day by pouring it in those little veins that I left on each side of the plate. And that's a wrap for today's video, everybody. I hope you found that interesting or helpful, and I will keep you updated with how that new seed starting recipe for soil blocking works. I'm anxious and curious all at the same time, because I hope it works. Because if it just is a total fail, that's a lot of seedlings that have gone to waste. But we'll see. That's part of the process and part of gardening. Always an experiment. Please comment below and let me know if you already have your gold standard of seed starting mixes, either for cell trays or soil blocking. Tell me all about it. And if not, what you're trying and a couple of your favorites. Like I said, this is not my end all be all. It's an experiment to see how it does, because I would get to skip that step of fertilizing if I use the wool pellet recipe, and skipping a step is always, a time saver. I'm here for that. Let me know everything you're sowing. Comment in the section below, and if you haven't yet, remember to subscribe to my channel to follow along with all things garden. I would love to have you here, and don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. We'll see you all in the next one. Happy planting. Bye.